Thank, thank you so much. Thank you so much, DTM Talha, for starting the meeting. And without wasting a single minute, I would like to invite our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Mohammed Asghar. He is a seasoned Toastmaster, and whenever I have heard his speeches, I was impressed. Even if he, he evaluates, it is also a speech, a story, an anecdote. Everything is there, and I am hoping for an amazing meeting. He is our area director of Area 57, 51, sorry, Area 51. So let's help me welcome Toastmaster Muhammad Asghar. Floor is yours, Toastmaster Asghar.
Thank you, Toastmaster Asmanas. Something deserves to be repeated. I'm seasonal Toastmaster. I'm area director, Area 51, and those who hit the room accidentally, let me inform them that you are in the WordWise Advanced Toastmasters Club, and I am would-be DTM Muhammad Asghar, and today I will be the Toastmaster of the morning or the evening. Today, let me start from something else. There was a man called Mani, Mani. This man lived in 3rd century. He ultimately found a religious cult or a religion called Manichaeism. It is a sort of devilistic religion. The main idea of this religion was either you are this side or you are this side. Either you are left or you are right. Either you are black or you are white. In English literature, there is a vocabulary related to his name, like Machiavellianism. It is called Manichaeanism or Manichaean divide. If you heard the word Manichaean divide, this Manichaean divide comes from the many, because many thought that there was only two things in the world, left or right, black and white. Now, because the main objective of this religious belief was about the world, they always painted this world unbearably unbearably painful and radically evil. You know, when you put the adjective unbearably painful and then radically evil, it means you are emphasizing the corners, the extremes, rather than the middle. Now, there was a concept later on introduced, what we called the gray. It was not, it is less than a color and more an area or a category where you do not want to be confirmed as many advises us or advised us. But it's a negative connotation most of the time, because not confirming means you are derailing. At the same time, however, it applies about out of box thinking, about innovative ideas. Today, I'm talking about this gray area because one of my seniors recently advised me about being a hard worker and reading books. He was correct in advising me to do the both, and he was also on time. But as assumption later on I came to know was flawed, at least in one important category. For example, if you have a knowledge, if you are a hard worker, if you are a well-read person, but if you are not articulate, if you can't speak precisely, clearly, confidently, you cannot be a good communicator. And if you are not a good communicator, you are not a good leader. I will talk a bit about it later on. But let me start the today's meeting. We already opened this meeting. Now it's time. We already talked about the theme. The role holder, I believe we don't have the role holders such as the grammarian or the listeners, DTM Tala. We don't have the, uh,
We have language evaluator,
okay.
DTM Haja Yaminuddin. He is language evaluator.
Well, we want him to introduce his role if he is around. DTM, yes.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning, good afternoon, if I can say two different time zones. Well, I am here as your language evaluator, probably a grammarian in the best possible manner. And we have a word of the day, which is discernment. It is a noun which means the ability to perceive, understand, and judge wisely, especially when faced with complex situations or subtle differences. An example could be a good leader demonstrates discernment by considering different perspectives before making a decision. So I'll be actually evaluating the use of the word of the day as well as good usage of English language and probably also at the same time some inappropriate uses with grammatical mistakes. And when called upon by the general evaluator, I'll be giving my report. Thank you.
Thank you, DTM Yaminuddin, for your role. And I strongly believe that you will be able to discern a pattern, at least about me, regarding some of the mistakes that I'm constantly committing. Thank you for the second session will be, yeah, let's word it, assignment. And I would like DTM Asma Naz to tell us about this particular role. Over to you, DTM Asma.
Yes, and while explaining, should I give the role or just I'll introduce the role only?
No, no, both, both. Introduce the role, what is this role is about, and then give the
Topic.
responsibility or the assignment to all of us.
Okay. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. This is one of the best segment, I believe, of WordWise meeting, in which I will give you a topic to ponder upon or thought upon it and write down a speech of 3 to 5 minutes. Then, after a few segments, we it will be like more than 30 minutes. We will again start the session and invite you to deliver your speech. So, for the topic, I was just thinking about my interaction with my recent interaction with a person. He was a rickshaw driver, and I was just asking about his whereabouts, and he told me that how young he is and how his children are married even, and they are having their children. So I was just thinking that at how we see the things, we see the life, and how he is very much contented and he is happy and
Always
he
good.
is having a good time. So I would like to begin with a simple question. How much is if enough? Is it one more promotion, one more house, one more degree, one more follower, or is enough something we stopped recognizing a long time ago? We live in a world that constantly whispers more money, more success, more possessions, more recognition. Yet, strangely, while our homes become bigger, our schedules become busier, and our achievements become greater, our peace often becomes smaller. Leonardo da Vinci once said, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. So your speech title for today will be Less is More. There are no right answers. There are no wrong answers. Only your perspective. You may tell a story, share a lesson, challenge a belief, create a fictional word, or reveal a personal moment that changed the way you define success. Ask yourself, what have I been chasing? What have I overlooked? So, this is from my side. And now I would request everyone who is willing to participate. May
We
I have the volunteers?
have Toastmaster
Okay,
Fauziya, Toastmaster Azhar. Who else? How about uh, DTM Ikra? How about you? Do try it. You will discover something that you never knew before about yourself.
Yes, sure, I'll be participating.
Great. We have DTM Ikra. So,
why not
Toastmaster.
DTM Fatima? DTM Fatima?
Yes, hi, DTM Asma.
Yeah, will you be able to? Will you do that?
Can you just brief me about what exactly was going on? Because I'm like all over the place.
Yeah, it's like I have given the topic less is more. So
Okay.
after
Mhm.
our keynote and prepared speech, we will again come to this session, and
Mhm.
the participant will be delivering 3 to 5 minute speech
Mhm.
about this less is more topic.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Anything.
It doesn't
Sure.
need to be a speech. It can be a story. It can be a poem. It can be just an essay. So that's the flexibility about this session. You don't have to make a formal speech.
Wow, that's very interesting. I'll go for it.
All right.
Okay.
We have
So
DTM Fatma and Muhammad Ali. You had a question?
Assalamu alaikum everyone. So I
Walaikum
have a little question that I have joined a little late, 10 minutes late. So could you anyone please tell me the agenda of in short way so I can understand what today agenda
Uh,
really is?
we can put the agenda in the chat box. Would that be helpful?
Okay.
Okay. So we have our volunteers. DTM Asma, please note. Uh,
yeah, I have
Toastmaster Fauziya,
a
Toastmaster. Wow, we have a huge,
good number.
good number. Great. So I'm putting up the
Yes.
agenda and over to you, Master of the Day.
Okay, Toastmaster Azgar, floor is yours. Stage is yours.
Unmute yourself, Toastmaster Asghar.
Well, actually, DTM Tala was happy that I'm muted, but unfortunately, you intervened because he always wants me to just uh, to move my mouth, but he does not want me to be heard. So thank you very much, Irfan Faruqi. You have always been kind to me. So after this role, I will omit the comments that I said it while I was muted. Now, after Let's Word It, we have the book review of interpretative reading. Today, the book we have from the existentialist author Albert Camus. Oh my God, one of the best author that I have. And the novel The Fall. Oh my God. Uh, to, Toastmaster Hussein Riaz is taking the responsibility of being today's interpretative reader. Hussein Faiz, are you there? Hussein Faiz is there, but unfortunately,
Yes, yes, I am here.
okay, thank
If
you. The
I'm
floor is yours
audible
with
to
the book.
everyone.
Yes, yes, you are very much audible and welcome to the meeting. And thank you very much for the selection of this book. I want to know about this book from someone as a book review, and the stage is yours.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, fellow Toastmasters. I hope you all are doing well. Are you good here today?
Yes, yes.
It's a pleasure for me, and the confidence goes to Toastmaster Asmanas to invite me again here on this stage, and especially in the session where I was looking for to discuss or share something new with the people. And for today, as the session, it's all about sharing the experience or a review about a book. Today, I'm going to share something very interesting from the literature perspective. Most of the books is about asking how we can spend our life in the happiest way, how we can become successful, or how we can achieve goals. This book exactly is the same, but in an opposite manner. I'm talking about the one of the most amazing book written on existential dread by one of the most interesting author, the Albert Camus. He's also a Nobel Prize winner. So The Fall by Albert Camus, it is set in a smoky bar situated in Amsterdam. And one day, a very successful lawyer, a very respectful person, realizes that all his life he has been acting. He's wearing a mask to look good, to be helpful, and to feel safe, to, to make others safe from himself as well. But in reality, it is a brutal technique or a confession about human hypocrisy behind that mask. He suddenly realized that our own past and realization of existence suddenly went away with time. It becomes more and more absurd that wearing that mask and trying to be something else makes you the one you hate the most. If you want a comfortable book that gives you easy answers, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, this book is not the one. The most thing I like about this book, that the way it makes you realize about your existence is it's all about absurdity in the three different ways. The number one is it mirrors your current reality. For example, without making it overly confusional, it touches on the theme of mask and the operational world versus the internal truth, the burden, which I personally called is the Raze Rah Guzar. The second one, the hooks of your existence. It challenges the base and the advanced level of human existential dread. It makes you realize that what you are looking is maybe correct or maybe wrong, but it can never tell you until unless you will go inside that abyss you are looking. And lastly, the most important, the brief introduction of human nature. That whatever you want to become, whatever your goals are, at the end of the day, you will absurd. You will ask yourself, am I doing really good, or am I, or do I have to make myself more successful? The questions about your own perspective. So this book is if you are looking for the best and the advanced level of existential dread, Albert Camus is for you. But if you don't want to start asking yourself about why do I am even here? And if you don't believe is life in absurdity, like we all have our perspective, don't go with the Albert canvas because it will make you question and it will break your perspective about anything. So that's all from my side. And but I will suggest you all to just touch the Albert Camus, look for him on the internet, and just do know that if he is a Nobel Prize winner, then why he is a Nobel Prize winner. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Senreyas, for coming of this book. Fortunately or unfortunately, I had this book at least in three languages, in my mother tongue, in Urdu and in English. One constant theme runs. The very name of this author, it's a French name, and it has a different name in three different languages. In my languages, it is called Albert Camus. In
Hmm.
Urdu, and in
Exactly.
Urdu, in English, it is also Albert Camus. In
Hmm.
French, it is Albert Camus. I really don't know whether I want to call as his mother used to call him, or I borrow it from my own language and called it Camus. But there is no doubt that he is one of the extraordinary author, and as you called it unsettles our existing belief inside us, and very beautifully called our ideas as absurd. This theme runs all his novels. Either it is The Fall, Nausea, A Stranger, or A Happy Death, or whatever. I think I have at least four of them, and the theme is common. But thank you very much for reminding this great man to all of us. Thank you very much. And our next session, now we are going to our next session. That session belongs to someone I love to hate. That is DTM Tala bin Ahmed. DTM Tala bin Ahmed today is speaking Shakespeare. He's not speaking Shakespeare, he's speaking about 21st century Shakespeare. And the 21st century part is the innovative and a creative part, and must be an interesting part. We all want to hear this new aspect of Shakespeare. Over to you, DTM Tala.
Thank you so much. I'm Slim Shady. Yes, I am the real Shady. All the other Slim Shadys are just imitating. So will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up. But no, the real Slim Shady today is sitting down and delivering this keynote. So everyone, welcome to the celebration of the art and the intellect of Eminem. This keynote is about his genius as a poet, as a thinker, as a lyricist. It is not about his personal life or life history. It's not about rap music in general. So we will start with a bit of history. Eminem transformed my public speaking because there used to be a project in the old curriculum. There used to be a manual, and it tasked us with creating a monorama, that is a drama with just one character, and you had to recite it. You had to recite someone else's writing. So I struggled to locate a suitable drama for this because I have zero knowledge of literature. I'm not well read. But then this one thing struck me, the song Lose Yourself by Eminem. I discovered that it is not just another rap song, it is a story. And how did that come about? We are about to find out. So there's a lot of stuff to cover. If you talk about the song Lose Yourself, which is perhaps his most famous song, his palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already, mom's spaghetti. He's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud. He opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's joking how everybody's joking now. The clocks are now, time's up, over, blah. Without going into the story, you can see the genius here. For the first time, I discovered in my life that it was possible to rhyme words that do not rhyme naturally. Look at the rhyme schemes in this one paragraph. sweaty with heavy, or ready with spaghetti, forgetting and ready. Would you imagine that these words would ever rhyme? But he made them rhyme just by the way he says them. And then there are two other rhyme schemes, nervous with surface, and bombs and keeps on, and calm. Again, calm, bombs, keep on, completely different pronunciations. And it's not as if he's twisting the pronunciation. And yet, he is making the whole rhyme work. And that's the genius, ladies and gentlemen, that you will find repeatedly in his works. So this song, Lose Yourself, is about a rapper who is fighting poverty, a rapper who's fighting hard times, and who is fighting the stereotype that rappers can only be black. This reverse racism that he faced also informs his poetry. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes rabbit. He choked. He's so mad, but he won't give up. That easy. No. So he won't. There goes. He choked. There goes. Imagine these rhymes. He's dope. He knows that, but he's broke. But he's so stagnant. He knows when he goes back to his mobile home, back to his lab again. Yo, this whole Rhapsody better go capture this moment and hope it doesn't pass him. So this is about a rapper taking the stage for the first time. But is it also not the story of a public speaker taking the stage for the first time? It's exactly the same. And that's why he says, you better lose yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. So this is your one shot. This is the first half of the story, the rise of this person. But very few people know that there's a darker side to the story. Without quoting the second act of the story, I'll go directly to the third act. The rapper succeeds. He has fame and fortune and false friendships. And now he is drifting away from his family. And he feels empty inside. And what's more, he's losing his talent. So, no more games. I'm a chain, what you call rage. Tear this roof off like two dogs' cage. I was playing in the beginning, the mood all changed. I've been chewed up and spit out and booed off stage. But I kept rhyming and stepped right in the next cipher. Believe somebody's paying the Pied Piper. All the pain inside amplified by the fact that I can't back my 9 to 5 and I can't provide the right type of life for my family. Because, man, these goddamn food stamps don't buy diapers. Again, look at the rhymes here. Cipher, Pied Piper, by the 9 to type of, and diapers. Did you ever, for the life of you, think that these words could rhyme? But Eminem made them rhyme. Caught up between being a father and a prima donna. Baby mama drama screaming on her. Too much for me to wanna stay in one spot. Another day of monotony's gotten me. To the point, I'm like a snail I've got to formulate a plot or end up in jail or shot. So he's torn between his family and success. And finally, he decides that he has to start earning again if he wants to survive. But this time the agenda is he wants to look after his family rather than earn fame and fortune for himself. That was Lose Yourself. But there's another even more incisive song. Love the Way You Lie. It's all about what goes on in the mind of a domestic abuser. So there's a female part which is sung by Rihanna. Just gonna stand there and watch me burn. Well, that's all right because I like the way it hurts. Just gonna stand there and hear me cry. Well, that's all right because I love the way you lie. I love the way you lie. It's coming from a lady who is a victim of domestic abuse and she has a Stockholm syndrome. Somehow she cannot extract herself from that situation. And now this is the man's side. Can tell you what it really is. I can only tell you what it feels like. And right now, there's a steel knife in my windpipe. I can't breathe, but I still fight while I can fight. As long as the wrong feels right, it's like I'm in flight. High off of love, drunk from her hate. It's like I'm huffing paint and I love her the more I suffer. So he loves her but he also cannot stop himself from abusing her. She resuscitates me. She hates me and I love. Wait, where are you going? I'm leaving you. No, you ain't. You come back. We're running right back. Here we go again. It's so insane because it's gone good. It's going great. I'm Superman with the wind at his back. She's Louis Lane. But when it's bad, it's awful. I feel so ashamed. I snapped. Who's that dude? I don't even know his name. I laid hands on her. I'll never stoop so low again. I guess I don't know my own strength. Does that sound familiar? Because that's the precise cycle sadists and domestic abusers go through. They feel intense love for their victims. In that love, they grow possessive, and possession then leads to hatred and aggression, and they hit them or they abuse them. And finally, when the deed is done, they come back to regretting. I feel so ashamed. I snapped. Who's that dude? I don't even know his name. I laid hands on her. So this is dissociation. A person who cannot recognize or cannot reconcile with the hateful act that they've done. So they actually dissociate themselves. I don't know that person. Something came over me. Again, isn't that familiar? When someone does something really mean, don't they always say, oh no, I was not myself? Oh no, I was in another state of mind. No, ladies and gentlemen, when someone does something bad to you, 99% of the time, they mean it. Let me break that illusion for you. Don't believe them when they say, I was not myself. Yes, they were themselves. They were more themselves at that point in time than they ever were. So don't let abusers get away with excuses. And this is the way the story continues. And see how the psyche of the user changes. Now, I know we said things, did things we didn't mean. Then we fall back into the same pattern, same routine. But your temper is just as bad as mine. And you're the same as me. When it comes to love, you're just as blinded. Baby, please come back. It wasn't you. Baby, it was me. Maybe our relationship isn't as crazy as it seems. Maybe that's what happens when a tornado meets a volcano. Now, there's another technique that's being employed by the abuser, equating himself with the victim, somehow painting a picture where they find a way to share the blame with the victim. You're exactly like me. Maybe that's what happens when a tornado meets a volcano. Here, the tornado is the abuser and the volcano is the victim. But if the victim is lying on the floor, bloodied, injured, how can they be a volcano, right? All I know is I love you too much to walk away, though. Come inside, pick up your bags off the sidewalk. Don't you hear sincerity in my voice when I talk? Told you this is my fault. Look me in the eyeball. Next time I'm pissed, I'll aim my fist at the drywall. Next time, there won't be no next time. Till now, you see a degree of regret, perhaps seeking forgiveness, right? That this person is really feeling sorry. They love this person. I love you too much to walk away. Come inside, pick up your bags off the sidewalk. Isn't that painting a picture? The lady finally is leaving, having had enough, and this person is pleading for them to come back. Don't you hear sincerity in my voice when I talk? Told you this is my fault. Look me in the eyeball. So again, then you see there's a degree of forcefulness returning. Next time, there won't be no next time. You would think this means that I will never hit you again. But no, ladies and gentlemen, this is not what it means. What it means is, I apologize even though I know it's lies. I'm tired of the games. I just want her back. I know I am a liar. If she ever tries to leave again, I'm going to tie her to the bed and set this house on fire. It's not about forgiveness. It's about revenge. And this person keeps penduluming between someone who is ashamed, someone who's afraid of himself, to someone who's vengeful. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the perfect capturing of the mind of a domestic abuser. I don't know whether it comes from his personal experience or perhaps from his abusive father or someone he knows, but it is chilling. It is a portrayal. It is haunting. And finally, we get to another way, and the reason I call Eminem the Shakespeare of our times, because Just like Eminem, just like Shakespeare, Eminem managed to add a word to the English vocabulary, and that word is stan. Stan means a fanatic fan, a super zealous fan. So when you stand someone, you absolutely love them. You're beyond a normal fan. You're a stan. And that word came from this song. The title of the song is Stan, and Stan is the main character. So Eminem is now writing in the shoes of that person. Dear Slim, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling. I left myself my pager, my home phone at the bottom. So this person is writing to Eminem, right? They're their biggest fan, and they're continuously trying to write to them, to call them, to get in touch with them. I sent 2 letters back in autumn. You must have got him. There probably was a problem at the post office or something. Sometimes I scribble addresses too sloppy when I jot him. But anyways, what's been up, man? How's your daughter? My friend's girlfriend's pregnant too. I'm about to be a father. If I have a daughter, guess what I'ma call her? I'ma name her Bonnie. I read about your Uncle Ronnie too. I'm sorry. I had a friend kill himself over some girl who didn't want him. I knew you probably hear this every day, but I'm your biggest fan. Now, catch the subtle hints here, ladies and gentlemen. This is actually chilling. I had a friend kill himself over some girl who didn't want him. Now, perhaps it's that same person in the previous song, Love the Way You Lie, a person who abuses, a person who disrespects his partner, and the girl is walking away. So, a friend killed himself over some girl who didn't want him. Now, is this the fault of the girl if she didn't want him? No, but the friend killed himself nonetheless. I know you probably hear this every day, but I'm your biggest fan. I even got the underground shit that you did with Scam. I got a room full of your posters and your pictures, man. I like the shit you did with Rockpost too, and that shit was fat. Anyways, I hope you get this, man. Hit me back. Just to chat, truly yours, your biggest fan. This is Stan. And apologies for some of the inappropriate words. Um, Believe me, you don't know what you're missing because I edited these verses heavily. So now, after a few exchanges, Eminem still hasn't responded because, of course, he's one of the biggest stars in the world and he must get thousands and thousands of letters every day, right? So he's not about to pick up his pen and write back every fan, right? So now things have escalated. Stan has actually gotten to a point where he's now irritated with Eminem. Dear Miss, now look at the change in tone. Dear Mister, I'm too good to call or worry my fans. There will be the last package I've sent your face. I've been 6 months and still no word. I don't deserve it. I know you got my last 2 letters. I wrote the addresses on them perfect. So again, just look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Deserve it and perfect. Again, a rhyme. So this is my cassette I'm sending you. Hope you hear it. I'm in the car right now. I'm doing 90 on the freeway. Hey, Slim, I drank a fifth of vodka. You dare me to drive? You know the song by Phil Collins, In the Air of the Night, about the guy who could have saved the other guy from drowning, but then Phil saw it all. Then at the show, he found him. That's kind of how this is. You could have rescued me for drowning. Now it's too late. Now I'm 1,000 downers. Now I'm drowsy. So this person has drunk and now he's driving on the way to killing himself. And he's blaming Eminem for this act because he did not answer his fan name. I hope you know I ripped all of your pictures off the wall. I loved you, Slim. We could have been together. Think about it. You ruined it now. I hope you can't sleep and you dream about it. And when you dream, I hope you can't sleep and you scream about it. I hope your conscience eats at you and you can't breathe without me. See, Slim, shut up. I'm trying to talk. Hey, Slim, that's my girlfriend screaming in the trunk. But I didn't slit her throat. I just tied her up. See, I ain't like you. Because if she suffers, she'd suffer more and then she'll die too. Well, gotta go. I'm almost at the bridge now. Oh shit, I forgot. How am I supposed to send this shit out? So this person has tied, this sicko has tied his girlfriend in the trunk. And it is based on a true story. I mean, of course, there's a bit of dramatization, but this is actually based on a series of fan letters that Eminem received. So, ladies and gentlemen, these examples show two things. The first is that Eminem is not your average rapper. Because when was the last time a rap song made you think? Girls and bling and big houses and cars. That's all most rappers sing about. They boast about how they abuse their partners. They boast about how much money they have. But Eminem was never that person. Even when he was rising in the world of rap, he was facing the reverse racism of being a white person trying to make it in a discipline that was traditionally the forte of black artists. And then he changed the conversation. He lived his life through his albums. He had his problems with his mother. He actually had problem with a whole lot of celebrity. There would be very few people in this world he would not have a problem with, except for maybe Dr. Dre, who is his mentor. Some of his political beliefs and actions are controversial. Some of his songs are very controversial, right? Some of his songs also fall into the trap of the usual rap song that I've got money, I've got fame, you've got nothing, right? But all in all, even if he does nothing else, these three songs, these three pieces of poetry are embedded in world culture. One is about the struggle of every new artist. The other is about domestic abuse and what goes on in the mind of the abuser and the abused. And the third is all about the nature of fame and the nature of fanaticism, a study into the mind of someone who has taken their obsession with an artist to an extreme. So, next time when you think about rap music, as I used to, because Eminem literally changed my life as a public speaker. I used to dismiss rap as something that was useless, that had no relevance. But when I presented Lose Yourself as a monorama, I realized that we were witnessing our very own 21st century Shakespeare. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, DTM Tala, for bringing Eminem and introducing him to us. Um, well, he has a very torturous environment in his home. Fortunately, from his mom, his ex-wife, and his brother, there is a lawsuit around him. But thank you of introducing this area of this man to us, and I promise you to study it further and come to you. Thank you. And now this is the time of our prepared speaker. Today is our prepared speaker is DTM Irfan Faruqi. DTM Irfan Faruqi, are you ready with your pathway? The communication series, entertaining storytelling, level 1, project 2, organize your speech. The title of DTM Irfan Faruqi's speech, the communication storytelling, right? And the DTM Irfan Faruqi will be evaluated by DTM Asma Naz. Asma Naz, can you introduce the speaker before inviting him to the virtual stage?
Yes, I'm ready. DTM Irfan Faruqi is one of the seasoned Toastmasters, and I have seen him delivering speeches everywhere. And his speech is always very learned, and we learn a lot from his speeches. And now he is following the pathway of the communication series of if, and from that he chose entertaining speaker and plus storytelling. The project is level 1, and it is organizing a speech. The objective of the speech is the purpose is to present a talk that is organized in a manner that leads the audience to a clearly defined goal. So I'll be evaluating him for his speech value, preparation, organization, opening, body, conclusion, and transition. The speech title is The Hand. The speech title is The Hand, and our speaker is DTM Irfan Farooq. Thank you. DTM Irfan Farooq is here.
Yes, he is.
Yes, I'm here. Should I start or wait for the... Yeah, I should start directly.
No, you have to
Ye-
wait. Now
Yeah, yeah.
I would like, as a Toastmaster of the day, I would like to call Irfan Farooqi to take the stage.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day. Good day, fellow Toastmasters. Some speeches begin with a quote. Some begin with a joke. Today, I would like to begin with a memory. A memory that has stayed with me for many years. At that time, I was working in my office. One morning, one of our senior workers
Am
felt
I a stick or he
that
is
something
stuck?
was wrong. Am I not audible?
DJ McFarlane, I would request if you could start again because for quite a bit you were frozen. So perhaps if you would like to start again.
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Maybe there is some internet issue, although
Yeah.
I'm using multiple devices right now, using the fastest one,
Are you
but
also
sometimes
using
there is an issue.
are you using Storm Fiber?
I'm using Storm Fiber, but it's a very expensive one.
Then you're not supposed to criticize it.
No, I'm not criticizing.
We are.
Yeah, I don't criticize, I just call the CEO.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you can start again, sir.
Thank you very much. Good day, fellow Toastmasters. Some speeches begin with a quote. Some begin with a joke. Today, I would like to begin with a memory that has stayed with me for many years. At that time, I was working in my office, and one morning, one of our senior workers entered in my room. He had come for a routine matter to get some documents signed by me. I looked at him and immediately felt that something was wrong. Something's wrong. He wasn't his usual self. His hands were trembling. His eyes looked distant. It seemed as if his body was standing in my office, but his mind was somewhere else. I signed the document, looked at him and asked, "Is everything all right?" He quietly replied, "Ji, sir." But I knew the answer wasn't true. So I asked again, "Tell me, what has happened?" For a few seconds, he remained silent. Then suddenly his eyes filled with tears. He tried to control himself, but he couldn't. Finally, he spoke. "Sir, my son caught my hand." That was all he could say. Again and again, "My son caught my hand. My son caught my hand." I asked him to sit down and slowly tell me what had happened. He was a simple man living in a village with very little education. His son was studying in the 10th grade. One day, the boy demanded a smartphone. The father explained that he simply couldn't afford it. But the boy continued insisting, I want a smartphone. I want a smartphone. The discussion became an argument. The father became angry. Like many fathers of his generation, he raised his hand to slap the son. But before the hand could reach the boy's face, the boy caught the hand. The father, while narrating the event, looked at me and repeated, Sir, my son caught my hand. Sir, my son caught my hand. He wasn't crying because he couldn't buy the phone. He wasn't crying because of the argument. He was crying because in that one moment, something inside him had broken. For him, it wasn't a hand, it was a lifetime of beliefs. I have thought about that incident many times. As the problem was the problem really the smartphone? I don't think so. The phone was only the reason the argument started. With the discerning eye, the real issue was much deeper. The world has changed. Black and white are now gray. The father belonged to a generation where respect was rarely questioned. The son belonged to a generation that had grown up in a completely different world, a world of instant information, instant communication, and instant expectations. Neither understood the other's world. One expected obedience, the other expected fulfillment. Somewhere between those expectations, communication disappeared. Ladies and gentlemen, today technology connects us with people across the world, yet sometimes it silently separates us from the people sitting across the dining table. We are teaching our children how to use smartphones. Perhaps we also need to teach ourselves how to continue talking to one another. Because families are not strengthened by technology, they are strengthened by understanding. As I conclude, I still remember that old worker. I don't remember the document he brought to my office for signature. I don't remember the date. I don't even remember the price of the smartphone. But after all these years, I still remember one sentence, one tone. Sir, my son caught my hand. Perhaps the greatest lesson from that day was not about a father or a son, or even a smartphone. It was this: when communication stops, relationships begin to break. Let's make sure that in our homes, neither father raise their hands in anger, nor sons challenge their fathers. And our hearts are never closed to understanding. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Irfan Faruqi, for your speech. You are always persuasive in your storytelling manner. But what I liked today is the way you brought the theme of the meeting and contextualized it into your story. That is the best part that I got, though I'm not your evaluator, so I'm sorry for intervention and taking the evaluator role. Now the next is the let's word it. That is the recital. And I would like to hand over the charge to the Asman Naz to invite the participant um, or the contestant. Over to you, DTM Asma.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Asghar. And w- the topic for today was less is more. And when it comes to speaker, it become vice versa. We had been capping it till five speakers, five writers, but today we will be witnessing seven. So I hope everyone is ready. So let me invite our first writer and speaker, Toastmaster Fazia. Toastmaster Fazia, are you there? I guess she is not in the meeting. So
He is in the
next,
meeting, perhaps away.
okay, she is here. Okay. Uh, until then, we have Toastmaster Asghar. You are ready?
Oh yes, I jotted out some points because I was the Toastmaster of the day as well, but I do not want to leave this opportunity. If you allow me, I'll go ahead, whatever I have.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Great.
thank you. Um, though I love the way I lie, at least most of the time, but getting more, I believe, is not our greed as we would like to believe about ourselves and the other people. To me, it's rather evolutionary. Millions of years ago, we had nothing. We were fearful and had no hope to get things for ourselves. So we started to accumulate irrationally. Those who know this can easily discern a pattern about our current predicament with regard to pursuing for more. Today, there is an abundance of things. We are more secure and we have hope to get what we want. The evolutionary instinct, however, is refusing to go away. It's everywhere, from earning or getting more money to cluttering our household with all irrelevant and useless things. Currently, I adopt this philosophy of less or more, but let me confess that I'm going for low hanging fruits. For example, to my utter shame, I would like to confess that I'm not thinking about earning less money, but I'm going for low hanging fruits. I started to declutter my room under this very philosophy that less is more. I, for example, threw away all my previous electricity and telephone bills that I had accumulated for years. And I found it more beautiful when there was a less in my home. The same with goes for other things. This morning, I got this. It is out of order for more than 2 years. I'm still keeping it in my drawer without any reason. Thank you, Toastmaster Asma Naz, for bringing this topic. I promise you that after this meeting, I will throw it away because to me now the less is more. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Asghar, for being candid, honest, and seriously, uh, the word you haven't used, but it was surrounding was the hoarding, which I also do. And my mother is always like, Asma, why are you keeping things? It is of no use. Think about the last time you used it, and you are just keeping it. And literally, we somehow we have this habit, even if we don't admit it or accept it, but we do this. Thank you so much, Roastmaster Asghar. And now our next speaker is Toastmaster Fauziya. Are you ready? Toastmaster Fauziya? Uh, okay,
Yeah, yes, I'm
let's,
here.
yeah,
Yes, I'm
okay,
here.
great.
But I have a problem because the camera, I cannot see front ways. I always see sideways. I don't know what is the problem.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine?
Yeah, we can hear you and see. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So should I start?
Yes, please.
Okay, fine. Well, good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. And this is the topic, a wonderful topic. That is a beautiful insight. Less is more. And it is what leads to discernment in life, even and in your daily course. Less is more is an energy, an ingredient, or you can say a taste, which leads you to discernment. It is never less when you have more. Possessions keep on fluctuating. When they are least, you want more. When they are more, you want more than beyond. And sometimes more than that. And that is how life goes on, and we keep moving on after it. But it is very essential because life is it is an action, not to be static. It doesn't stop. So whenever something less in a container, in a can, or in our life, we keep on increasing. When we go beyond our dreams or beyond our uh, thinking, then it becomes more. Yes, now with me, I want to share with you is a very essential ingredient of life. Yes, love. Love, it starts from less and keeps on growing more and more. Now, the interesting part of my story, that is a story of love, story of a very careless girl. That is me, fluttering my wings and disco flying away, going here and there, jumping here and there, and never thinking about anything that would uh, do good for me or that would do bad for me, whatever. But that was me, always a want to fly. And what everybody thought that would ever be in this girl fallen in love and, and so deep. I never knew myself, not knowing how to cross the road an year ago, was caught in love and in a cobweb, slowly, but not like a prey to be hunted, but like a companion, moving and crawling closer slowly and gradually. Would you imagine that moving ahead in my studies is actually my story of romance? Moving side by side, increasing in depth, and it grew more and more, which was my dear, brave, confident, and number 12. These things kept on growing, which were very less and which grew more and more. We moved together for 12 years, being made for each other, yet not being matrimonially tied. We struggled in our own paces till we crossed the borders of geography. Still, individually struggling in different areas, but together in a bond that was less and grew more and more. The love between us excelled, and one day it accelerated. After 12 years, we got married accidentally. Because accidentally, that it was not arranged, it was not planned, and but it just happened. Now, life had changed. What was less started becoming more and more our needs, our belongings, our dreams, everything. This is not the end. Together we became an iceberg, increased more and more, worse with achievements. Like, why worse? Because more and more we were getting our achievements, the worse things were going on. Our life was like a roller coaster. Till 12 years of excelling achievement and now of married life, I was overwhelmed and became mature enough to be able to be in a state of discernment, thinking about and reminding my memory bank. I now understand what was less became more, more, and more, not knowing about the person, and gradually knowing him led me to a labyrinth of life. I then understood when I lost him that less became more and more became most. It left a strong impact on my life. Thank you, Abhi. Thank you very much, all of you, for listening patiently to my prepared or this structured story. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Toastmaster was here. And you have beautifully highlighted that uh, wants or have no limit because there is no limit to the greed. Whatever we are getting it, we are always wanting it more. So now I would request our next speaker, DTM Iqra. DTM Iqra, are you ready?
Yeah. So it's my first time in one of these sessions, so bear with me. When will it be enough? Have you ever noticed that enough is always one step ahead? When we're students, we think once I graduate, it will be enough. Then, once I get a job, it will be enough. Once I get promoted, it will be enough. A bigger house, new phones, new cars, more money, more titles. We spend our lives chasing the milestone coming next, convinced that happiness is just waiting right there. But the strangest part is that every time we arrive to that enough, it quietly moves around the corner again. It's like trying to catch the horizon, and the closer you get, the farther it seems. Now, what fascinates me is not why we chase it. It's what we overlook while chasing it. We overlook the dinner where everyone is laughing and we're checking notifications. We overlook our parents getting older because we are building our future. We overlook the children wanting 5 minutes of your time while we are trying to earn them a better life. We overlook sunsets because we're looking at the screen. We're overlooking today's blessing because we're planning tomorrow's victory. Life isn't stolen from us in dramatic moments, it just disappears in the ordinary moments we never notice. One day we'll have a bigger office, but the colleague who made us laugh may have retired. We'll have more free time, But the people we want to spend it with may no longer be waiting or available. One day we'll have enough money to travel, but maybe not enough health to enjoy the journey. So perhaps the question isn't that when it will be enough. Maybe the better question is what if some of it already is enough? What if this conversation is enough? What if the meal you had in the morning was enough? What if this ordinary Saturday is enough? This heartbeat, this opportunity, this moment. I'm not saying that we should not dream. Ambition is beautiful, growth is necessary, and goals give your life a direction. But we're always sacrificing today for tomorrow, and we'll wake up one day with a successful life we've made, but never actually lived. So, my fellow Toastmasters, tonight before going to sleep, I want to ask you one thing. Don't ask yourself what you're chasing next. Ask yourself, what am I overlooking today because I'm busy chasing tomorrow? Because sometimes the life we're searching for is the one we're already living. Because sometimes less is more. Thank you.
Wow, Ikra, it was never like you have attempted it first time. And how beautifully you have covered everything. I was just listening to you and how beautifully you have identified that we have overlooked a lot of things and we are even overlooking right now a lot of things. We are not enjoying the moments. We are not living the life and we are to the fullest. We are just chasing. Thank you
Yeah,
so much,
I,
Toastmaster
I,
DTM
I
Ikra.
read somewhere that sometimes we don't realize that the life we might be living today is something we have prayed a lot of time before, like earlier, and that what came up in my head when you told me about the topic.
Yeah, that's great. Amazing. Super. So now let's welcome our next speaker, Toastmaster Mohammad Rayan. Toastmaster Mohammad Rayan, are you ready?
Before starting, please tell me I
Yes.
can't hear.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can all hear you.
Yes. Amazing. Good morning. Or is it afternoon over there? I think it's afternoon, right? Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and the guests. The more you sweat in peace, the less you sweat in war, was said by United States Army General Norman, some hard name to pronounce his second name, so I will skip it for now. I'll tell you two stories. Number one, when I was a kid, I heard about this story. It's a story about a king who always visits his people in disguise. And one day, when he was doing that, as usual, he discerned something which he never pondered upon. And it was a man who was very happy in his kingdom. However, that man is not rich. He is very poor. He went to the man. He asked him, like, what is the reason of your happiness? You don't have money. You don't have a good house. Although you have a hut, but you don't have a good house. So what are you happy about? And that man said one thing: less is more. King was confused, discombobulated. He was like, what he is saying? Can you explain? And that man said to the king that if I had huge money, I have to worry about my wealth. If I had diamonds, precious stones, then again I have to worry about my precious belongings.
And if I had all of these things, then I have to worry about how to save it from people. I don't have the money. So less is more. So now I don't have any expectations with life. I'm very happy with the life I have. So this made the king think a lot. And king went to his palace and he tried to give as much as he can to the people who deserve. Story number two. Me, as a human, I was having a lot of ambitions. I was trying to do a lot of things at once in my past, and I couldn't do. I was trying to be like a ninja, and I was trying to do three things at a time. I wasn't able to. What I gained instead as an add on package, I had a deteriorating health, then I was having issues in my personal life. Then I started to relax, reduce things, try to divide things into slices so that I can have less things on my plate so that I can eat. It's like you're going to a buffet, you're trying to see everything. Like you have gulab jamun, you have biryani, you have ice cream, and you want to have all. You want to have them all, and you cannot have. You put all on your plate, but you couldn't. Then nowadays, when I go to a buffet, I take little so that I eat it first. Then, if I have more space in my stomach, then I can. It's the same thing. When you try to focus on less things, your attention gets increased and you can achieve more. So, with this, I believe that whatever you do in your life, you should have to think before you take things in your life. So, take less, complete it, then you go move forward. With this, I give the stage back to our amazing Let's Word It Master, Distinguished Toastmaster, or I don't know whether she is Distinguished Toastmaster Asmanaz.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anand, for telling us that how important is letting go. And we should be having one thing at a time. Minimalism is the greatest achievement. At office, whenever I'm doing something and I've given some task and asking, so I just tell them, right now I have one frog and I'll eat it first, and then I'll go for the other frog. So so this is how I deal with at office, and the buffet element. Yes, this I am also applying. I've also started applying so that I don't waste food and my health is also not deteriorated. Thank you. And last but not the least, we have DTM Fatima for our next speech. Okay. Yes.
Good afternoon and good morning, since we do have people from Saudi Arabia. They say less is more, but I'm going to talk about something that all of us unanimously face at some point of their lives, and that is weight loss. So, when you're trying to lose weight, less can feel less like wisdom and more like punishment. Less sugar, less rice, less bread, less dessert. And suddenly, the only thing you seem to have more of is hunger. Like many people trying to lose weight, I once decided that I was going to become extremely disciplined. I began enthusiastically. And what do we begin with? The perfect diet. And I received plenty of advice, especially when you're trying to lose weight. Some of them were stop eating carbs, Eat 6 times a day. Don't eat after 6. Try intermittent fasting. Drink something green that tastes like fresh cut grass. Ugh, literally. By the end of my research, I had not lost any weight, but I did lose the peace of my mind. Then came that classic moment, standing in front of the wardrobe, holding that outfit that used to fit, and confidently saying, "This must have shrunk." Not me, the outfit. Apparently, clothes can mysteriously gain weight while hanging inside the cupboard. But weight loss taught me that less is more does not mean starving ourselves or punishing our bodies. It means making those small, sensible choices. One less spoonful, a little less sugar, a fewer late night snack, and perhaps that less of that famous sentence. What is that famous sentence we normally use when we are about to start a diet? "I'll start on Monday." In Saudi Arabia, it's mainly "I'll start on Sunday." Because we all know that this is the hardest working day in the fitness industry. Everyone is starting something on a Sunday in Saudi and on a Monday in Pakistan. The real challenge is not losing weight quickly. It's about creating habits we can continue patiently. We often want dramatic results. We want to eat that one salad, walk for 20 minutes, step onto that scale every following morning, and discover that we have transformed into an entirely new person. However, the scale does not applaud effort immediately. Sometimes it just stares back at you with the same number as if it were to say, "Nice try." That is when we need to remember progress is not always visible. Choosing water instead of a sugary drink is progress. Walking instead of remaining seated is progress. Stopping when we feel satisfied and not painfully full is progress. Speaking kindly to our bodies is also progress. Weight loss is not about becoming physically lighter. It can mean carrying less guilt, less frustration, and even more, less comparison. This goes out to us ladies out there. Do not compare. We must stop comparing our journey with someone else's edited photograph, a strict diet, or dramatic transformation. Everybody has a different history. Every person has a different pace, a different body. What can we do? A little less food on the plate, a little more movement in the day, a little less self-criticism, a little more patience. And if we occasionally enjoy a piece of cake, we should enjoy it and interrogate it. One piece of cake does not destroy a healthy lifestyle, just as one salad does not create a healthy one. So, less is more is not about deprivation, it's about balance. Less excess, but more nourishment. Less pressure, but more consistency. Less comparison, but more self respect. Less obsession with becoming smaller and more commitment in becoming healthier. Because weight loss journey is not the one that makes us hate our bodies until they change. I've been through that stage. It is painful. When I hit the ideal weight, it just felt it was not me. It is the one that teaches us to care for our bodies while they change. Fellow Toastmasters, sometimes a little weight helps us gain something far more valuable: energy, confidence, discipline, and even more, a healthier relationship with ourselves. Less can indeed be more. what we gain matters more than what we lose. Over to you, DTM Asma.
Thank you so much, DTM Fatma, for reminding us all and taking us all to the journey that we are following, and we are unable to achieve the target, but giving us motivation that less is not the deprivation. We have to be we can enjoy our food, and we can lose the weight as well. So yes, small and tiny steps matters. And with this, the session is end now, and I'm really glad that I gave this topic and everyone performed great. Thank you. Over to you,
Sorry,
Toastmaster Asghar.
sorry.
Okay,
I would love to interrupt Toastmaster Asghar as always. DTM Asma, can you recap the name of the speakers so that I don't miss anyone? Toastmaster
okay,
Asghar,
okay, okay.
yeah. Toastmaster Fauziya, DTM Ikra, Toastmaster Mohammed Ryan, and DTM Fatma. Is that right?
Yes, 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 yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So after this unhappy disturbance or intervention, I would like to go back to my theme, and I would like to bring back DTM Fatima if she is still there. We were talking about the idea of being a hard work. I've just heard you. One of the best thing that I've recorded. This is the only one area that the word play you use in your speech. I just picked the last one and would like to repeat the last one in healthier relationship with ourselves. This is one of the wonderful way of putting things in front of your audience. But then what I found more is about you. You were articulate. You spoke precisely, clearly, and confidently. On the other hand, we emphasize, as I earlier mentioned, about being a hard worker and a knowledgeable person with a qualified degree. Why, in the presence of both elements for decades, we emphasize being articulate, being precise, being clear, and being confident while delivering our idea? Why is it important?
You're I'm trying to understand understand your overall, just your literature is just so immense. It brings me back to my English literature diploma. So I'm trying to get a hang of it. So you're trying to ask me that why is it that the hard worker, there's a comparison between a hard worker and somebody who holds a degree, and there's always some kind of a debate that goes on, who gets hired first or who is successful? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm saying that on the one hand, we have the philosophy of being a hard worker and with a degree.
Mhm.
On the other hand, we need to be articulate, speak precisely, clearly, and confidently, as you just did in the session. Why we are not emphasizing enough about being articulate, speaking precisely, clearly, and confidently, rather than running behind our degree and hard work and job?
Well, that is a very interesting take on how you have put it. We're continuously evolving from a traditional mindset to an advanced level mindset that is focusing on skills. We have come across an era where the thinking has transformed, the way people behave has transformed, the way we are witnessing things in our generation versus the generation that was there before. I mean, if you're looking at our parents' generation, they are still the same. They still want you to work hard, get the degree. Those are the prerequisites. You need those. You cannot go without those prerequisites, right? What you mainly need now to meet the demands of the ever growing economy, the challenges, people need energy, people need vibe. We are no longer sticking, let's just admit that we are no longer sticking to a 9 to 5 jobs these days. No, we are working way more. And in order to succeed, in order to reach, we need to have these beautiful soft skills integrated into our system where it demands you to be a very good speaker, a communicator, a negotiator, somebody who can do everything merely by just conveying words. So I think this is my particular take on it. It's not something that we are endorsing. I still go by the traditional idea you do need a degree, you do need to work hard, but you also need to work smart. That is the primary key. And by working smart, develop your articulation, speech, skills, and all that would help you succeed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was just an excuse. I wanted to expand my theme from black and white, from 9 to 5, and from the traditional way of doing things to derailing ourselves into the gray areas in order to find the growth. But I really mind one thing when you said that uh, things are different from our parents' generation without realizing the fact that I am from your parents' generation. So I really took it
I
personally.
didn't
But
mean to
anyway,
look
thank
down
you.
on you. I
Beautifully
said whatever you say. I said whatever you say, I take it. You have set the standard. You have set the foundation, right? You told us to study, to work hard. We did it. But this era requires just more than that. This is the only thing I'm saying.
Don't
Nothing. I love my parents. Honestly,
don't
I love
take
my
it.
parents.
Don't worry, Toastmasters girl. You don't look a day over 85.
I was
Okay.
actually very surprised when he said that.
Okay, so thank you very much. Anyway, being enriching our today's meeting. Thank you, DTM Fatima. Now we are in our next session, that is appraisal and journal evaluation session. Our journal evaluation session will be led by Toastmaster Mohammed Rayan. Toastmaster Mohammed Rayan, now over to you.
Thank you very much, our amazing Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Muhammad Asghar. Okay, so I would like to begin with the things like meeting were started on time, guests were introduced. However, general evaluator was a bit late. I think to be precise, 8 minutes late. What I would like to say about the meeting, what I loved first. First thing, which was new to me, was the Zoom security. I never came across the registration before. I just used to click the meeting link and it used to go, but today I found something new because I'm not that used to online meetings. Number two, I'll start with Toastmaster Asghar. His theme was amazing. He kept everyone hooked from the beginning till the end. He even included few senior Toastmasters who were veterans, like past Division C Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Fatma Ali as well. And I loved the theme. I can just say one word, wow. Let us go as per the agenda. So as per the agenda, first was guest introduction, presiding officer introduced the guest and the Toastmaster of the day. Sorry, we have Toastmaster of the evening, so I'm just getting confused with that sometimes. Now, what I pondered upon today was let's word it assignment, which was new. It was evolved version of table topics, and I loved it. So kudos to DTM Asmanas for that. And she also introduced the segment, the role. She included not almost, actually, everyone who is willing to participate. And she gave the room opportunity, which I loved it. And this is the first time I'm seeing like 3 to 5 minutes, which is a mini speech, I can say, for a session. And I'm loving it. Maybe I would try to implement on that. Some of the clubs where I'm part of. Now, second thing which I loved was book review by Toastmaster Hussein Faiz, which was really good. And I haven't seen a book review in any Toastmasters meeting. I have visited around like 4 districts so far, but I haven't seen this book review in Toastmasters meeting. Incorporating a book review in Toastmasters meeting, it's a new positive learning experience, and I loved it. Now, next is keynote recital. This is also something new which I never saw. Saying about songs, saying about the singer or the rapper who was Eminem today and who what he meant by his songs, and even Rihanna. So this was something very new. I listen to songs, have been listening to words, but I never noticed the detail about the stories. It's just, you want to be cool, so you just listen to the rap, or you just want to have some blast of dopamine in your mind, so you listen to the rap. But today, the meaning, it stuck me so hard that I would like to revisit all the songs which I like the most, and I would definitely try to know the meaning behind them. So kudos to distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid for that. Now the pathway speeches. The speeches, the evaluator introduced the speaker and the speech title, and the project details were already said. And the speaker was really good, distinguished Toastmaster Irfan Rashid Faruqi. And next was, let's word it out, which I said again. So yeah, so apart from this, I liked the meeting. And since we had one speaker, we didn't have voting. I can understand that. And I would like to attend more about this WordWise Toastmasters Club. And this is the first time I'm visiting a club from Pakistan, and I am loving it, by the way. With this, I give the stage back to our Toastmaster of the day, or no, it's epilogue. Toastmaster of distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid, right?
No, I would
No, no.
like to take the stage before
Yeah.
Tala.
Okay.
I'm
Yes,
grateful
then
for your
Toastmaster.
appraisal, but I want you to invite the evaluator number one and the role holder, our language evaluator. But first of, because you are
Okay,
general
because
evaluator.
I was seeing the agenda, and I
Yeah.
was going by the agenda, so I was like bit confused because I would like to have that in agenda included as a step so that I can include before awards master. We call it awards master or the ballot counter over here. So before that, at least I can see that more. Okay. Yeah. So I would like to call our first language evaluator, who is distinguished Toastmaster Khaja Yaminuddin, who is the program quality director of District 104.
I think we should start from speech evaluation.
Yes, speech evaluator
Ah,
first.
yes. Sorry, my bad. So yeah, we'll go for the speech evaluator first. Distinguished Toastmaster Asmanas.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ryan. And my target speaker, DTM Irfan Rashid Faruqi, delivered an amazing speech from his Pathway Communication series, and the title was The Hand. When he communicated the title, and I was just thinking, what could be the content? And it was I was so intrigued that I was just thinking about it, and then told myself that okay, let's listen to the speech. The speech was great. There was a proper opening, body, conclusion. There were smooth transition. There were a message, and which was the generation gap. If I sum it up, it is like the generation gap he was talking about. And uh, earlier, the concept of the generation gap was like the age difference, but now this gap has mm, been like the values difference. The generation gap is has turned into the values difference. So I was supposed to evaluate on his speech value, preparation, organization, opening, body, conclusion, and transition. Everything was great. Indeed, he is a very good speaker. But uh, since you are in Zoom setup, I was just, and you were giving a speech in sitting area. So I have just one suggestion that if we could see you or what I can say, the whole standing in the on the standing position and moving your hand gesture while you were moving your hand gesture, they were going off screen. So you are not fully covered. So that is the one point that I see. Overall, that was a great speech. Everything was there. Yes, one another aspect that could have been incorporated while you were telling about this him, the role play element, there were margin of uh, giving the vocal variety and performing it. But I guess due to the style of storytelling, you did not incorporate it, and you just told us in a storytelling style. So that's great. Overall, an amazing speech, very well delivered, very well prepared, and kudos to you for completing your project. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Hello. Yes. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So now we will go with the language evaluator report. Let's call our distinguished Toastmaster Khaja Imunuddin again.
Thank you so much, GE. Now, I'd like to start with where the Toastmaster of the day, Muhammad of the language.
You were
I
stuck.
think this is
You were
probably
stuck.
most important aspect that schools actually they teach us grammar and essays, but they rarely teach us how to speak those two sentences, probably in a minute or so, and how
Am I having the trouble or is it? Is it really
Yes,
for
yes. There's a bit of interruption.
Yes.
So let's just wait and then we can maybe ask him to start again. Uh, Mr. General Evaluator, while DTM Khwaja is back, may I submit a short timer report?
Yes. Please do submit the timer report
All
so
right.
that we can
Thank you.
furtherly
Thank you so
proceed.
much. Thank you so much. So overall, as far as the meeting is concerned, we are making good time, Alhamdulillah, because considering that we had more than usual Let's Word It speakers, it is quite an achievement. Secondly, we started 10 minutes late, considering that all the speakers and evaluators remained within their time, including the keynote speaker, including the evaluators and the Let's Word It speakers. So overall, good job by everybody. We are over by 10 minutes, but that's about the amount by which we started late. So kudos everyone, and over to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
I would like to call distinguished Toastmaster Khaja Imunuddin again to start his report, language evaluation report again.
Thank you very much. I think a good leader demonstrates the discernment by considering different perspectives, and this AI and technology can play havoc in our life. So probably I am the one who is using the word of the day, where I was expecting all others to use at the same time. So let me just get back and continue where I was actually talking about, especially with regards
I
to.
want you to start from the beginning because there was a disruption of more than two occasions at least.
Yes,
So
if you could please start from the
Yes,
beginning.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll do that because I think that is the crux of my evaluation, and I
Yes.
really want to get to Toastmaster Asghar's idea about articulation that way. So what I was saying is, the schools they teach us grammar and essays, but they rarely teach us how do I say those two sentences exactly in a minute or two, or how do I disagree without actually attacking. Now, without practice, the articulation stays a skill for probably writers or lawyers and a very few speakers they have a habit of doing things. So we had the word of the day today, and probably I'm the only one. Am I using that because it was so difficult? I did not hear anybody using it per se. My bad if I missed it. I'm sorry for that. But I did try to pay as much as attention I could. So let's start with the first thing, the mini thoughts. Something which I really liked it when Toastmaster Azhar was talking about it. Two things in the world, left and right, black and white. So very rhyming and very catchy to hear that. And that is how the tone is set for it. And then I'm not going to take names. I'll keep on going it because we're running short of time. So constantly whispers more. This is something which is more attractive. Now, with due respect, distinguished Toastmaster Talha, I think there were lots of grammatical mistakes in the passage which was shown. Just trying to engage humor with it, but it's just trying to say that it's not you, the Eminem part. We all understand that, but yeah, it was definitely a very meaningful session, which had. I think Eminem has to go back to school. He does need to go back to school again now. So I'll not get into that. And forgive my handwriting. I'm sometimes not able to understand my own handwriting. It's the wrong side of being a doctor also at the same time. Now, the tornado abuser and volcano victim thing was very nicely mentioned. I really liked it. It's kind of putting weight and impact while speaking. So that definitely makes a lot of difference. And let me just get about existence realization. Now, there was a correction in between. Suggest all of you is probably more appropriate. His mother used to call him engaging humor, and my mother tongue love to hate that. This is something which was more adaptable. And lose yourself, screaming and screening, probably the things which we were actually talking about. Now, if you're coming to distinguished Toastmaster Irfan's speech, I really liked it when Tiomiti was trying to call him, and then he had this thing sometime inside his has broken, and the lifetime of beliefs. So very nicely mentioned by distinguished Toastmaster Irfan about that. Less is more was the topic, and I believe all four speakers they did justice to the topic. And I guess when Toastmaster Muhammad Azhar was engaging with distinguished Toastmaster Fatima, probably that is where the engagement became more impactful that way. And I really thank Toastmaster Azhar, Toastmaster Fadia, distinguished Toastmaster Ikhra, Toastmaster Rayan, and distinguished Toastmaster Fatima for giving less is more in their own perception. So probably this can settle down with the word discernment more better, because this is what the leaders have done justice without actually using the word of the day, but the message was discernment in the best possible manner. Having said this, I believe I think I should wrap this thing up. For me, for the first time as a language evaluator in this club, so I understand the gifts very clearly now, and probably I might be able to give more better discernment in my own style for the next meetings onward. Back to you, G.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Khaja Imuddin, for the amazing, wonderful report. It was mellifluously done, and I loved it. And next we have awards master. I guess we have our counter here in this club? We don't have our
No, we
counter.
don't.
Then so okay. So then is it awards session? Because I need to know about this. This is the first time I'm attending this club, so I
No
just need
worries.
to.
You just hand back to the TMOD, who then hands back to
Okay,
the president. Yeah.
amazing. So I will give the stage back to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Muhammad Asghar.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rehan, for your role as appraiser and journal evaluator. DTM Talha bin Ahmed advised you to hand over me the role because he himself wanted that role from me. He merely wants to use the proper channel. So over to you, DTM Talha bin Ahmed.
I just learned it myself that I was supposed to conclude the meeting. So thank you so much, everyone. I'm floating the poll for the best major role player. Please vote. Uh, best speaker and best evaluator are decided by default. And yes, I know they were the only speakers and evaluator, but they stuck to the timing. So that should count for something. Today's best wordsmith was a very tough contest, but DTM Fatma walks away with the prize of the best words. So congratulations DTM Fatma. And as far as the best major role player is concerned, we'll decide. While you wait, we take some guest impressions. So starting with someone who has been a bit quiet, except for his own segment, Toastmaster Hussain Fez. Your quick comments about the meeting.
Thank you so much, DTM Talha bin Hamid. And like always, it is one of the most entertaining and most wonderful meetings. Especially the theme was quite bold. I really appreciate Toastmaster Asgar for such a wonderful theme because what I noticed in my 4 year journey, most of the clubs we choose the theme that make us impression doesn't make us question about things but make us realize about rainbows and happiness. But sometimes we do need to talk about such topics. I even remember last two speeches in my club. One was about existential crisis and one was about a song from Entity Paradigm, Raag Gujar, the
Yes.
famous rock band of Pakistan.
Yeah.
And I delivered the speeches, and my club members were looking at me like, "What do you want? Why you are so depressed?" But I really enjoyed being here, and most probably, inshallah, I will continue my journey with this club in the future. And thank you so much for having me. And inshallah, I'll be join you again in the next meeting.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Hussain Faiz. Let me be the one to inform you that stranger things have happened. On the ICAP stage, Metallica's Enter Sandman was delivered as part of the speech. That was my speech. Also, and Eminem's Lose Yourself. So I'm a member of
Hmm.
ICAP myself. It's a wonder I still retain my ICAP membership. So, but look forward to seeing you. Everyone, the ongoing message for everyone is you've experienced the club. If you like it, consider taking up membership for the next cycle because we would really appreciate more members. We have our DTM, Ikra Arshad, one of our first meetings as a DTM. DTM Ikra, your thoughts about the meeting?
Uh, for my first session, it was a really amazing one. I was intrigued, like I said, by the keynote, but I found the whole meeting as much entertaining, and I was glued to it the whole time, and each and everything was so fascinating, and everyone's thought, the pattern of the meeting, it was really amazing, and I would love to just be here again.
Thank you. Thank you, DTM Ikra. We look forward to you joining again. Uh, Toastmaster Zuhaib Suleiman, if you could have your comments. If not, we can move to DTM Fatma. DTM Fatma, your comments about the meeting?
Completely different, something else than I expected. Normally, we have the traditional Toastmasters format. I love that format, not that I don't, but it is such a pressure to have this kind of a meeting where you can manipulate things in a certain way, have, it just felt like I was in a literature classroom, to be very honest. Especially during your Eminem speech, I was like, wow, that's a lot of vocabulary done right there. So thank you so much for a wonderful meeting. I think getting up at 9 a.m. Saudi time on a weekend for this meeting was definitely worth it. Thank you.
Thank you. Please come again. Everyone, I'm putting the link in our guest group. Please join that group if you're interested in further meetings. And finally, putting on record my sincere appreciation for our PQD for two things. First, actively participating in our meetings because that's the best way for a PQD to learn about what's going on in the district. And secondly, more importantly, breaking the mold by taking the language evaluator. Believe you me, we have some members in our district who would settle on nothing less than a big four role. They would ask for it that, is there a big four role for me? No, there are other roles and everyone needs to perform them. Thank you. My personal note of gratitude to you, sir, and your comments about the meeting, please.
Thank you very much. I believe and I understand and probably in my keynote speech when I was fighting for the elections rather than contesting for the elections, it was very clear that I believe in quality over quantity. It's not about having your picture on the poster. It's already done. I think we all are past that stage now. It's the point right now is to get things done to improve the quality. If we keep on running after fame, it will just keep on passing away from us more faster. The option is here very clearly. You do the work, and automatically, if not now, tomorrow you'll always be on the top. So there will be a place, a space for you where your picture will be there. So it's not about fighting for it. It's about making sure that everybody is uplifted. So quality over quantity. I'm not going to push people for anything else besides quality. So that has been my motto. That has been my aim. I'm going to face hiccups, and I'm ready to take those challenges. I'm going to face all those problems where people will be running after quantity, but I'll go through quality. Even if I'm not able to achieve something, my 10-point agenda, probably if one or two things are there, I'll be more than content because at least I can go to bed thinking that I delivered what I wanted. Thank you very much for having me here. I'll look forward to joining again for any roles, whatever available, not necessary. It has to be something on the poster as well. I think this is my second or third meeting with WordWise Master, and I haven't taken any role which requires me to be the face of the meeting. So thank you very much once again.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Love your comments about quality. That's much needed. Although perhaps the CGD would have a few words to say about that. But that's the fundamental contradiction we have in Toastmasters. I've been noting it as a past district leader. The thrust is on expansion, on relentless expansion and numbers. And I felt that's my personal opinion. But sometimes the question of quality and the question of retaining loyal members and incentivizing them enough to renew again and again, that gets left behind. That falls largely up to the clubs to ensure that. So thank you so much for saying that. That's actually music to my ears as well. So with that, we bring this meeting to a close, but not without announcing the best major role player. And to my utmost horror and endless consternation, it is unfortunately Toastmaster Asghar. Why do you all vote for him all the time? Anyway, personally speaking, well deserved. Congratulations, Toastmaster Asghar. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mohammad Rayan, for sparing your time. Really, really loved your evaluation of the meeting. And with this, we declare the meeting closed and stop the recording. See you all very soon in this beautiful community.